So a lot of people has been asking me for a updated Wind Blade Dancer guide ever since I swapped to a Wind build. So here I'm going to go through a basic Wind guide for the tutorial. To get started, for Wind build, you need a couple blue skills. The most important one to get is Wind Server. The entire Wind build do not function without Wind Server. And after that, you can slowly pick up the other skill, starting with probably Walling Scourge, into Multi-Slash, into Scour Slash, finally into Wind Charge. All the other skills are completely optional. There are no other required skills in your Wind build. You can go for nice quality of life skills like Party Protection with the Home Wind block. The Wind Slot Wind Spirit is not required. The way Wind Blade Dancer work is that when you cast your Wind Server, you'll get this buff called Wind Spirit, and whenever you have 3 stacks, you can cast your Rolling Typhoon like this. And this is where majority of your damage should come from. You just go Wind Server, Rolling Typhoon, Wind Server, Rolling Typhoon, Wind Server, Rolling Typhoon. And one of the biggest benefit of Wind BD, you'll see that you go focus neutral, is that it doesn't really cost you focus, because your Wind Server costs you 6 focus, and then your Rolling Typhoon generate you 6 focus back. So you don't really go out of focus unless you somehow miss your Rolling Typhoon, because in this case, it does not give you any focus. So make sure you're hitting your Rolling Typhoon properly. One of the things you'll notice is that your first Wind Server is slower. That is because your Wind Server get boosted up after casting Wind Server, or after like Rolling Typhoon, or after a Blindsides, and they'll come out much faster. So make sure you're not there to start the fight with like a slow Wind Server, but rather you're doing things like Rolling Typhoon into Wind Servers, you're doing a Blindsides into Wind Servers. One of the things to be really careful of is that your left side strafe, which is Q, put you into draw stance. In this case, you will lose all the wind ability. You can disable Blade Guard in this case to make sure that you still get your Wind Server when you're in draw stance, so you can just right click to go back to basic stance. But of course, this doesn't boost your Wind Server, so you end up being really slow. One of the things you'll notice with Wind BD is that whenever you do a Rolling Typhoon, you get this Rolling Typhoon buff. The way this works is when you get to 12, your next Rolling Typhoon will do significant more damage. So here you can see I did 8,000 damage on a crit, and that turned into like a Wind Gara buff. And then my next Rolling Typhoon is going to consume this buff to do significantly more damage. So that's the thing. When you eventually upgrade into a purple Wind Server, you get a Winged Dragon Soaring Sky attack instead when you have 12 Rolling Typhoon. So it's recommended to acquire the purple skill as soon as you can get it. By the way, coming into this screen, one of the most rookie mistake I see people making is that they forgot to put their points into their Wind Server and Rolling Typhoon when they switch from Lightning to Wind. These two are 2 different skills, and you'll take points into each of them. Each of these will take 10 points. The rest of the points don't really matter. Personally, I put them into Multi-Slash because it just does the most damage, and then I put them into Blaze Storm. The other problem is that even though Rolling Typhoon set you to neutral, I actually don't recommend you emptying out your entire focus bar. The reason is because this is really slow, because until the Rolling Typhoon hit, you don't get your focus back, and this is really slow. Compared to having full focus, you can cancel the last Rolling Typhoon with another Wind Server, so it looks something like this instead. Because I'm able to start casting Wind Server before the Rolling Typhoon fully land, it is a lot faster than if I were to just drain out my entire focus and have to wait for it to land. And of course, when it comes down to your bash wide, you want the one that boosts your Rolling Typhoon for sure. So on your Soul Bash, boost Rolling Typhoon for sure. And then on your Mystic Bash, you want the one that gives you additional stacks of Rolling Typhoon when you cast your set button. Oh, by the way, real quick, I just want to remind people to not only subscribe to the YouTube channel, but also that I regularly stream Blade and Soul on twitch.tv, so be sure to check out live stream if you want to ask live question over there. Okay, with that being said, let's go through all the other skills to explain what they do. For the most part, when it comes down to all the other skills, you're looking for a specific thing called Wind Charge. When you have Wind Charge, your Rolling Typhoon will only cost you 1 wind stacks instead of 3 stacks. So you can see here, it only costs me 1 stacks. And that allowed me to eventually spam Rolling Typhoon. So what I can do is I can get 3 stacks, get my Wind Charge, Rolling Typhoon, Rolling Typhoon, Rolling Typhoon. Like that. Pretty much every single one of your skills, when it comes down to Wind BD, will give you Wind Charge, with the exception of your Slash. So the Slash right here will not give you Wind Charge until you upgrade to purple, which is the reason why this is not important skills to get unless you get the purple version that give you Wind Charge. Your main rotations come down to basically just cycling all the skills that give you Wind Charge and then spamming Rolling Typhoon. Like that. You should always be stacking up Wind Spirit with your Wind Server before you do a Wind Charge attack so that you can immediately go into Rolling Typhoon. But one other thing to note is that every single skill gives you at least one Wind Charge or one Wind Spirit. So you can just do 2 Wind Spirit, Wind Charge, 1, 2, 3. And then right click again to get more stacks and then Rolling Typhoon again. The exception to this is going to be your Roaring Scourge as well as your Multi-Slash. Roaring Scourge do not come with any Wind Spirit, so you have to get free Wind Spirit before you cast it, so to get 1, 2, 3 off. And then Wind Charge by default come with free Wind Spirit, so you don't have to pre-stack this at all. You can just kind of rip it, and then you can do 1, 2, 3 like that. Depending on the skills, they will all give you different amount of Wind Spirit and Wind Charge duration. So every single one of your skills has a different combo. Starting off with the top, Multi-Slash, you can just use whenever because it gives you free Wind Spirit. And then it gives you 3 seconds of Wind Charge. Your goal here should be to get 5 Rolling Typhoon off, or 6 if you have low ping and a fast hand. So you have Wind Charge, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. You can see that if you're not fast enough, you won't be able to get 6 Rolling Typhoon off, or if you're high ping like me. Moving on to Roaring Scourge. Because this skill doesn't give you any Wind Spirit, you have to get started with pre-stacking free Wind Spirit. And then your combo here is going to be Roaring Scourge, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then you can fit a final one in here if you can get it fast enough. So that would be a total of 10 Rolling Typhoon that you can get. Moving on to the Skyward Slash. Skyward Slash come with 1 Spirit and 3 seconds of Wind Charge. So the combo for this was going to be pre-stack twice. You don't need 3 stacks, you only need 2 stacks. And then Skyward Slash, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And once again, if you're fast enough, you can fit a final one in, but you can see the buff barely run out. So if you have low ping or fast hand, you could get 6, but it's another skill where you aim for 5. The main difference between Multi-Slash and Skyward Slash is that you need to pre-stack 2 Slash for the Skyward Slash because it only comes with 1 Spirit, but for Multi-Slash, it comes with 3 Spirit, so you don't need to pre-stack at all. Finally, we have the White Wind Wind Charge. This is the same logic as Skyward Slash. It comes with 1 Spirit, so you can do a 2 pre-stacks instead of a 3 pre-stacks. But the most important thing is that it comes with 6 seconds of Wind Charge, so you can fit 10 Rolling Typhoon just like the Roaring Scourge. So you'll do 2 pre-stacks, I did 3 here, but it doesn't matter. And then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then final one here. So you can get 10 on this one as well. Your combo mainly just come down to using whatever skill is off cooldown to get your Wind Spirits and Wind Charge and then spamming Rolling Typhoon. So your order don't really matter that much. Personally, I like to start with Multi-Slash to gap close, and you also don't have to pre-stack it. And then Roaring Scourge can just give you the biggest benefit. This also proc your Mystic Splash, so you want to use this first ideally. And then the Skyward Slash as well as the Wind Charge and the end in that order. And then finally, we have Wind Slash. This doesn't really do anything, but you do get free Wind Spirit as well as get a Thunder over it. And you have to cast this twice. Compared to Lightning Draw, this have 2 casts. So you have 1, 2, and then the second cast gives you free Wind Spirit and you can immediately into Rolling Typhoon. So if you accidentally got into draw stance, you could use double Wind Spirit to get your Rolling Typhoon up and then immediately do your Rolling Typhoon because this also switches you back to basic stance. Or if you're somehow starting to fight with your charge like this, you can do 2 Wind Slash into the Rolling Scourge or Roaring Scourge immediately because this gives you free Wind Spirit. Anyway, with that being said, Wind Blade Dancers I think is really simple to play. It's basically just come down to using all your skill in an order. So hopefully this guide kind of helped you out get started with it a little bit. And if it did, for sure leave a comment below to let me know if you're playing Wind Blade Dancers. As always, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like. Bye bye.